Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today I've got an episode of Sniper Sunday, the series where I'm going to try and get better at sniping, share with you guys what I learned from my experiences, talk about different sniper rifles and different techniques for trying to be better. The last few episodes I was messing around with bolt-action sniper rifles, the M40A5 and the M98B, and I thought, you know what, why don't we switch it up to some of the semi-automatic sniper rifles? We have a huge variety of sniper rifles, all with different damage outputs, different effectiveness at ranges, and I thought, why not go with a semi-automatic sniper rifle this time around? They all seem very similar on paper, and granted they are similar, but with sniper rifles even subtle differences can be a big difference in how they actually play out. And so why not take a look at the M39 EBR, see how this one plays compared to the rest of them, and see what it can do best. Now before we get into all the specifics of the M39 EBR, I thought why not go over some of the general recon tips while you're playing. Now the recon class needs a bit more preemptive thinking than say an assault class. With the assault class you can just chuck down med packs, use defibrillators whenever you need them to. The recon class has one spawn beacon, and then if you're playing against infantry you're probably going to be using a motion assister like the tugs or MAV. You only have one of those also. Granted, you can pick up these items and take them with you, but oftentimes you'll get caught up in a fray, you won't have time to go back for it, and you'll just move on. So a lot of thought has to go into when you place them down, and because you only have one, many players are waiting for the optimal moment to put them down, or they just forget to put them down. Regardless of how well you're doing as a sniper in a round, at the end of that round you should have a bunch of surveillance ribbons. You should be chucking down your MAV or your tugs all over the place, trying to get as many spot assists as possible. This isn't just for points, but it's to help your team spot out guys, and it's also to help you spot out guys. Now personally, I prefer the MAV over the tugs. I think it's a little bit easier to place, and there's a few extra tricks that you can pull off with the MAV that you can't really do with the tugs. Obviously you can fly MAVs around the map up to high places. I generally don't spend my time doing that. I usually just place them down in a building, but you do have the option to move them later if you leave them behind. But you can put them down in a stairwell to try and block somebody. So say you run up into a building and you want like 1 second of warning before somebody comes up those stairs to try and kill you, you can put the MAV in the stairwell. They'll have to shoot it, and that will warn you that they're right there. Obviously the point of an MAV or tugs is to spot the enemies before they get to you so you can counter them, but just in case you're zoomed in on a target, which happens a lot as a sniper class, and you just disregard your mini-map for a few seconds too long, classes can sneak up behind you, and this will just give you that extra second or two that you're gonna need of defense while they're trying to get around your MAV. Alright, so let's talk about the M39 play styles that work well with the M39, how to configure this rifle for it to be most effective. And you might have noticed that early in the video I was using a flashlight on the side of the M39 and trying to tactically turn it on and off at the right moments. Well, this wasn't working out so well for me. I felt that people were able to spot me much easier from further away. I wasn't using a scope that would have scope glint, and so the flashlight in effect gives you that scope glint effect, and you're not even using a high mag scope. So that was kind of bothering me a bit, because the flashlight just isn't effective at long range. It's just basically a little marker that says, hey, look over here, this is where I'm hiding. So you definitely don't want a flashlight for long range encounters. It's very effective in close quarters, but I decided that, you know what, why not just use my STAC pistol in close quarter engagements. It's silenced, it's got a flashlight, it pretty much does damage on par with this gun anyway. So I decided to just get rid of the flashlight on the M39 and run with a flashlighted pistol. The laser sight is a really good option for semi-automatic sniper rifles. It's a good option for bolt-action sniper rifles too. If you do play on the PC and you have your laser sight bound to the same button as your ADS key, then you can actually ADS and turn off your laser sight, and then when you go back to hipfire you can have it automatically turn on. This is a really good setup. Some of the drawbacks of the laser sight are that when you're sprinting across a map, often your player model will kind of swing your gun around, and that laser sight might alert somebody to your attention because it will pass over their head even though you're not aiming at their head, and it will kind of give away your position. I generally try and avoid the laser and flashlight on semi-automatic or bolt-action sniper rifles. I just don't like the idea of my position being given away by accidentally shining a laser beam at somebody that I didn't see, or a flashlight giving me away. The hipfire benefit is really nice, but again, if I'm super worried about close quarter combat, I'll just switch to my STAC pistol. Or if you really know where the guy's coming from in close quarters, you can just go ahead and aim down sights. Alright, let's talk about what the M39 EBR does best when compared to other sniper rifles. First of all, it has an incredibly fast bullet velocity of 570 meters per second. This is going to make it great for hitting long range targets or moving targets. The only other sniper rifle that shoots faster is the M98B, which is a bolt action that fires at 650 meters per second. On top of which, the M39 EBR shoots at 300 rounds per minute, which is even faster than the M417. The SKS does outshoot this gun in terms of rate of fire, but the SKS is also a slightly different platform in terms of overall damage potential. The SKS is a 3-shot kill, where the M39 EBR is generally a 2-shot kill. However, the rate of fire with this rifle isn't generally going to come into play unless you're in extreme close quarter engagements and you just need to spam that fire button to deal with whoever popped around the corner. At longer ranges, you're going to want to take longer pauses between each shot, so you can make sure you control your recoil and that the basically bullet spread has time to reduce enough so that you hit nice accurate shots. If you end up spamming the fire button at long range, even if your crosshair is on target, the bullet deviation will increase at a rate that you can't control and you'll end up missing your shots anyway. Now, the M39 EBR does 50 damage maximum at up to 15 meters away, so guaranteed if you shoot somebody who's 15 meters away from you, it will be 2 shots to kill them unless you hit them in the head, in which case it'll be a 1-shot kill. Now, you should be aiming for the head in general. At longer ranges, the damage will drop off all the way down to 37.5, but this isn't a huge deal. If you still hit them once in the body and once in the head, you can still do a 2-shot kill at long range. And even if you miss those headshots, this gun will never take more than 3 shots to kill somebody unless they happen to be healing in between your shots. Now, some people might say, well, why not just use the M417? It has the exact same damage platform, almost an equivalent rate of fire, yet it has a potential of 21 bullets loaded in the gun at a time. And the reason for this is that the M417 just isn't as accurate. The ADS base accuracy starts out less accurate on the M417, making it less viable for long-range targets. The M39 EBR is definitely very versatile. It can take care of close-range targets with this nice high rate of fire, but also it has a very, very good accuracy for long-range shooting. I prefer running the American holoscope with this weapon. I can be really accurate at range with it, and it just frees up a lot of my screen to see guys sneaking up on my left or right. So it's probably one of my favorite scopes for the gun. Again, scopes are very preferential, so whatever you feel most comfortable with, a 3.4 times scope might work out really well for you. But I've been using the holoscope enough with sniper rifles that there's just something magical about it. I've really figured out how to headshot guys at long range with it, stay on target at extreme long ranges, and I just love that extra visibility that I get even when I'm ADSing. So that wraps it up for this episode of Sniper Sunday. The M39 EBR is definitely a great semi-automatic sniper rifle. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's certainly a good one. I hope you guys learned something from this episode, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.